So yesterday I noticed a weight differential between the 35 and the 40th anniversary. And after the video I thought to myself, hold on a second, I haven't measured some of the GMWs, and I have the TFC with me here and the G, but I have it in the I've got the bracelet on, so I think I've called it the GD before because that describes the black case with the black bracelet, but it has the negative display. So I suppose this is the G with a bracelet. Anyway, what was interesting and what I thought was strange at first is I thought what I should do is actually measure the weight of all of them. So let's start with the two golds, and so the 35th we have weighing in at well, right now it says 158. Now I wonder if that is the position 157, because I'm trying to put each of the watches on in the identical place. So we have the GMW B5000 TFG-9 coming in, weighing in at 157. And yesterday I'd put on the new 40th cornflake, the recrystallized, and I got 160, as you can see here. So we have this 3 gram differential between the new 40th and the old shiny 35. But then what I did is I placed onto the weighing scales the B5000G, and that comes in at 159, and I thought, wow, that is so interesting. And I thought, hold on, before I say anything, let me see what's going on with the TFG, because in actuality, and that comes in at 158. So let me get to where I'm going to here. So we have the TFC, the TFG coming in at 157. Then we have the TFC coming in at 158. Then we have the B5000G coming in at 159. And then at the very top we have the PG-9, the 40th, coming in at 160. So how interesting is this? And so I will put these in order. We have the gold shiny coming in at 157, the TFC coming in at 158. We have the G coming in at 159 and the 40th coming in at 160. And I thought, now this is so interesting. Does this mean that we ironically have a 3 gram spread across these watches and that's perfectly normal? Or should they be all the same? But then I thought, hold on a moment, I can probably go one better, because here I have the MRGs with me, and I thought, I wonder if there is a differential with the MRGs. So I've got the black and gold MRG, and that's coming in at 105. And I have the silver MRG coming in at exactly 105. So the two MRGs are identical. Okay, 104 there. So maybe there's a little bit of spread on the weigh scales, because these aren't the very, they're very cheap weigh scales. So there will be some, tolerance and difference going on there. It says 105 there. Let's put the black one back on, because that initially was 105, and then we got 104. and it's back to 104. Okay, that's interesting. Let me see if I can get 104 out of the silver. But okay, so I've got 104. Yeah, so we've got the two MRGs are identical in weight. They're both 104 degrees in this configuration. So I think once again I've got 4 links removed out of the bracelets. But all these squares should be the same configuration because they're all size for me, so they're all missing 4 links in total. And I think I've even got the same setting on the adjustment here as well. So let's go, so then I thought, okay, this is very interesting. My black GMW B5000 is 159. It's very close to the new 40th because that comes in at 160. So we've got 160, 159, and with the tolerances on the weigh scales, you know, they could be very similar, and also the tolerances on these watches if they are identical. Now, the thing is, we know that they're not identical because the module in the 40th has been updated to the 35. I think it's the 3539, where the module inside the older GMW is 3459. If I'm wrong, but you know, please correct me down below. But in effect, these are all full metals. And so we know that they're hovering around the 160 mark, and depending how many links you've got installed, you know, that will have a difference. But all these that I've shown you today, they are all configured the same way. So what you would expect if you are thinking that the watches are really all identical, you know, the weight changes, you know, should be minor. You know, it probably, or it could be something to do with the properties of the finish, because in effect, because what we could consider is that the differential between each of the 3 models is mainly the colorway. We know that this 40th does have an updated module. So we are expecting some possible differences. Perhaps the electronics have been upgraded, or the battery, but I doubt the battery has been changed because I can't see why they would do that. There might be something updated on the electrics on the 40th. So this later module, it could be a little heavier, but equally the update could also result in it being lighter. So I don't know. I initially thought that the recrystallization process, because more engineering has gone into it, and that would explain for it being slightly heavier. Now 3 grams isn't a lot, and I suppose in context it's not a lot, but I was wondering, I wonder what the tolerances are, because we have a 3 gram spread across these full metals. Remember, we have 157, 158, 159 and 160. And I suppose that's ironic as well, that each one of them is where, you know, the way I've measured them here. I've put them in order. And so once again, we've got the shiny gold coming in at 157. We have the TFC coming in at 158. We have the G coming in at 159. It's like a boxing match. And we have the 40th, the heavyweight, the heaviest of the lot, coming in at 160. So it is very interesting. And in actual fact, I would like to know what other people have found. Is it something that has been looked at before? I know that expensive Swiss watches, for example, and I'm assuming it does apply to these expensive G-Shocks also, that weight is something that you can use to determine fakes, or if a watch has been modified and perhaps use third-party components, there will be a weight difference then. So maybe there is something there. But then I had one further thing I wanted to show you. And if I remove these and introduce these, you might see where I'm going here. Now, I actually, so these are all Casio genuine items, and I've actually got these so that I can keep watches in pristine condition, but also to take a look you know, how they're manufactured. So this is a bezel and bracelet for the B5000, sorry, the GMW-B5000D, I think it is, which is denoting silver, and it's the same notation for the MRG, because this is MRG-B5000D, which I think means the basic silver model. So the bracelet is, this is the standard Casio bracelet for the B5000D, and I did want to have a look at it like this to understand how they've made it, and you know, to have it as a reference also. But I also did plan on popping it on some of my models to see how it might look. And also you can see here I got the gold version also, and so this is a genuine, once again, a genuine Casio part for the TFG. And when I look closely at them, I can see that they are, well, this component is manufactured identical because it has the same brushed parts and the same polished parts. But I thought to myself, hold on, what's interesting here is that in theory the only difference is the polished bracelet. The only difference between the two, because the bezels are actually identical in terms of the polished surfaces. So no, there is a difference, obviously. So this is all polished, and this is polished and brushed, and the bracelet is there are some minor polishing on it, but essentially it's mainly brushed. But on the TFG, it's brushed and polished, but majoritively polished. So we have a majoritively polished bezel and bracelet for the TFG, and we have a minor polished bezel and bracelet for the D. Anyway, where I'm going to is, what do they weigh? So let's start with the fully polished bracelet, and that rocks in at this configuration, so there are 4 links removed, and that's 82 grams. Now this is where I was excited. I thought, if I'm going to see a difference here, I'm going to see it right now, and it weighs in identical. So if I just zoom in, you can see I've got 82 grams on the polished and brushed bracelet, and on the majoritively polished TFG bracelet, it's identical. So these two bracelets are identical in weight, the only difference being that the gold is slightly more polished. So I'll quickly pop on the bezels so you can see, so you've got the same view there. So that rocks in at 19. Now this is, I found this interesting because that's also 19. So where I came to was that the bracelets and bezels of both, so what I was trying to identify was polishing, so that's a finishing of the bezel and bracelet, was the possibility of polishing reducing the weight, and we can see here that it does not. Now what I need to do is remove the bracelet and bezel of the 40th cornflake. Now I haven't done that yet, and I need some time to do that. Plus you know, it will be curiosity that does drive me to do that. But if I'm really honest, what I was also thinking about doing is putting the 40th module inside the 35th case, because I have the 35 as well, as you know, here it is. and I was thinking of putting this module inside this case and bracelet, and I have that here, and I thought that might look good. But also I was thinking of putting this module, so the gold face and buttons, inside the B5000D, and so everything here would be silver, apart from the module, and I thought that would be so cool. But then I thought to myself, what I could do also is I could mix these two bracelets, silver and gold. But then I thought, you know, it's going to look very modded at that, and is that what I want to do? I'm not sure. Anyway, the point where I was getting to was we still end up with this weight differential, and we can see that the cornflake is it seems to be heavier than all the other full metals, and but if we just look at the full metals here, there's only a 2 gram difference between 157, 158 grams and 159 grams. So these are the full metals, and that you would think would be all identical, the colorway only being the thing that is different. And we have this 2 gram spread, so maybe that's pure coincidence, and it's more to do with the machining tolerances of these components. And then we have the 40th that definitely is a little heavier, but it's still, you know, possibly in the realms of machining tolerance, because the G is so close to that at 159, the 40th is 160. So I'm putting down these weight differences to a result of machining tolerances in all of these watches in manufacture. But what I think is the 40th is slightly heavier because of the recrystallizing process that they use to finish it, and possibly something to do with the movement that's been upgraded might have added a gram or something like that. So this is where I've got to. I hope this video is at least half interesting. And at that, I have to disappear again, and I'm going to say ciao. Hope everybody is well, and speak again soon.